Academy of Art University's K-Art News is next. Coming up is a new app to help combat drunk drivers.
What's next are cab companies with Lyft and Uber being allowed to pick up at customers at airports.
An app that may help you get cheaper tickets for your favorite local sports team.
And a tragic event in Nigeria that killed 48 people. All that and more coming up on K-Art next.
Good evening. Thanks for watching Academy of Art University's K-Art News. I'm Kiyomi Matsuda.
And I'm Jerry Quidez. Here's what we're working on today. 33-year-old Dr. Craig Spencer of New York has been released this past Tuesday after being treated for Ebola. Dr. Spencer was diagnosed with the disease after treating victims in West Africa, and he has been in the hospital quarantine since October 23rd. Before he was diagnosed, Spencer had rode the subway, gone out to eat, and went bowling, causing some concern with public health.
After Tuesday's election, there's only one state that voted against legalizing recreational marijuana, California. Oregon and Alaska joined Washington and Colorado in the legalization of recreational marijuana use. California, Arizona, and Nevada have legalization measures in the works for 2016 when the presidential elections happen. The presidential election is expected to bring younger voters to the polls who seem to be more supportive of the legalization of marijuana. There is a new app for all the party animals out there, an app that will tell you your blood alcohol level and provide you with a list of cab options to be safe. Here's Jerry Quidez with more.
Drunk driving in America is one of the highest causes of deaths. According to drunk driving statistics, the rate of drunk driving is highest among 21 to 25 years old. Almost half of all drivers who are killed in crashes tested positive for alcohol in their system. Statistics also show that breathalyzers are acceptably accurate, but not many drinkers use breathalyzers.
Well, that's a tough question. I mean, it varies. I mean, if it's Friday night and people are drinking, they're drinking a little more than they might be drinking on Friday afternoon. So it all depends. To know if they're too intoxicated, and then I cut them off. But I've never seen breathalyzers.
Now there's a new breathalyzer device you can link to your phone to measure how intoxicated you are.
Introducing Breeze, a breathometer device that will let drivers with smartphones learn how intoxicated they are before getting behind the wheel. It pairs with Bluetooth LE to a smartphone app. The way it works is 20 minutes after your last drink, you blow into the device. Then, an electrical chemical field cell sensor calculates the blood alcohol concentration and transmits it to your phone, which shows how intoxicated you are. What separates Breeze from other similar smartphone breathalyzers is the option to get a ride from Uber if you blow a 0.8 or higher. The screen will show a Get Home Safe button. It'll also give you other options to look up Yelp listings of cab companies, search for hotels to sleep it off, and restaurants to sober up. This new breathalyzer device will help drinkers get home safely.
I think it's pretty cool because it can help drivers get home safer.
Also, do you have friends who like drink?
Yeah, I know a lot of people who drink and stuff, so I'll tell them more about it.
In San Francisco, I'm Jerry Quidez for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
That is a great way to party responsibly. Make sure to look into that app to stay safer after a night out on the town.
Authorities are investigating a wrong-way crash that injured 3 people on the Bay Bridge. The crash was caused by 32-year-old Carrie Lynn Morgan, who was allegedly driving under the influence of drugs going west in the eastbound lanes of Highway 80. She and 2 others were rushed to the hospital for injuries. After being cleared, Morgan was booked into San Francisco County Jail for being an unlicensed driver and a DUI suspicion.
Across the Bay, police are investigating the death of a 20-year-old man found near the UC Berkeley campus. Police reported the man dead at the scene after responding to reports of an unconscious man outside the Zeta PSI fraternity house. Drugs and alcohol have not been ruled out as a possible cause. The body has been transferred to Alameda and his identity will be revealed after the family has been notified.
Thousands gathered in Berlin to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall this past Sunday. citizens released about 7,000 balloons into the air. Many attached messages of hope in celebration of the unification of the city. The celebration festivities included speeches from Berlin's mayor, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and as well as a violin performance by Dorothea Ebert, who had been imprisoned in East Berlin. If you could make last-minute plans to catch a ball game, there's a new app that can offer cheap prices and there will be no need for a printer. Joy Marchini has a story.
Game Time is a new app that is changing the way tickets to sporting events are being purchased. Game Time competes with other secondary ticket suppliers by selling tickets for as cheap as possible, but only keeping up to 10% of revenue on each ticket. You can simply put in your location and have access to scroll through available tickets to numerous of professional or NCAA sporting events. Once you pay for your ticket, there's no need for printing. Your phone becomes your ticket that you can scan to get into the game. With this app gaining popularity, you may see a decrease in ticket scalpers outside of participating sporting venues. Game Time has a feature where you can buy multiple tickets and send them to anyone in your group via text message to continue to stay away from having to print out your ticket.
Alright, for my birthday, my girlfriend got me 4 tickets to the Raider game, and they were on Game Time, and I just sent the tickets to my other friends, and we all sat in our seats and we had a good time. Yeah, it was good. When you scroll down on the app, they show you what the view is and what you're looking at, and it's makes it a lot easier because you know where you want to sit.
Game Time only sells tickets to venues that offer the phone scanner, which is currently 60 venues in 22 different cities. In San Francisco, I'm Joey Marchini for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
Many of the new messaging apps have failed a recent security test designed to test the privacy of its users' data. It was conducted by the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Snapchat, WhatsApp, Facebook Chat, and Google Hangouts passed 2 of 7 factors, and AIM, BlackBerry Messenger, and Viber passed only 1. While this may come as a concern since so many people use these apps, none of the US-based apps scored as badly as the South African MXIT app and the Chinese QQ app. While technology does help us in many ways, leave it to the major corporations to rule out privacy. Taxi companies like Lyft and Uber have recently been permitted to enter SFO to pick up and drop off customers. As you may have guessed, regular taxis like Yellow Cab are not that happy with this. The service is currently running on a trial basis and may be repealed in the near future.
With the growing popularity of Uber and Lyft, are the future cab companies in jeopardy? I have more with the story.
Lyft and Uber are now legally allowed to operate at San Francisco International Airport. Both companies will begin to drop off and pick up customers within the next 30 days, according to a statement from SFO. Before, the drivers of Uber and Lyft did not have valid licenses, insurance, and they were driving unregistered cars.
With the approval of Uber and Lyft, would this hinder cab companies in San Francisco?
President Hansu Kim of DeSoto Cab stated in an interview that he does not believe that the taxi business will never disappear, but it could be that full-service dispatch-centric companies will no longer be in business as they are today. With over 200 cabs, DeSoto Cabs pays about $5 million for the medallions. Insurance also adds to cab fees, with the company spending about $2 million a year. Uber and Lyft do not have to pay the medallion fee, insurance fee, and the companies can have an unlimited of vehicles on the road, putting cab companies at a disadvantage. Since Uber and Lyft do not have to pay these fees, their rides are cheaper than cabs.
I would rather take that than a cab just because I feel like a cab is more disconnected and you can talk to the people
in the Uber, and they're very nice. Everybody that I've had has a really clean car. It doesn't seem real sketchy. Everybody's been perfectly nice, and they've gotten me from point A to point B the fastest as possible.
Cab companies have now joined a union in order to be more organized and to make sure that the cabs do not go out of business due to Uber and Lyft. I'm Kiyomi Mitsuda reporting from San Francisco for KART News.
Like Uber and Lyft, cab companies have now created new apps such as Halo that you could download to ask to be picked up anywhere.
Gas prices are coming down across the nation. The average gas price is currently $2.94. It is down around 80 cents since May of this year. In the Bay Area, average price for a gallon is $3.21, and in San Francisco, it is $3.39 a gallon. Experts said the drop is due to lower oil prices, and most people are waiting to spend during the holidays shopping season. Affordable housing advocates are vowing to go back to the ballot with a new measure next year. In San Francisco, voters shot down Proposition G. Proposition G would impose a transfer tax on multi-unit investment properties sold within 5 years. The ballot measure would have imposed a real estate transfer tax on any short-term property between 2 and 30 units. If a new tax is put on the ballot, it will likely not be the only affordable housing measure.
New hotels and housing are looking to modernize the look between 5th and 8th Street on Market. Architects want to make their buildings new but still keep the iconic look of San Francisco. One of the ideas is to have a 16 and 20-story residential and hotel building with an arts bar in the center by Market and Taylor Street. The proposal is still going under discussion with the Board of San Francisco.
A suicide bomber attacked a school assembly in Nigeria on Monday, killing at least 48 students and wounding 79 others. Islamic militants in the country have increased their attacks since the government announced last month that the group had agreed to cease fire and that the schoolgirls would be released soon. This bombing is the second within the last 2 weeks, which has led to the Yobe state government to close all government schools in the area.
Suspects for the disappearance of 43 college students who have disappeared in Mexico have been found and questioned by the Mexican authorities. The suspects confessed on Friday that they are responsible for killing the college students by burning and dumping them in a river. The students have been missing since September 26, and their remains have just been found to be later identified. Authorities are still searching for more suspects. As the inflation in Venezuela raises at least 60% a week and more people are falling victims to the civil war, the U.S. government has just allowed students from Venezuela to obtain a work visa while studying. Reporter Zachary Pereira has the story.
The civil uprisings in Venezuela have escalated drastically since they first began in February by students. Civilian life is being severely affected. This is Samantha Green. She is an international student from Caracas, Venezuela, and is studying web design in the Academy of Art University.
I came to the Academy because I wanted to do an MFA for my personal growth. So my parents and I started looking at some online rankings of best schools on web design. And we finally decided to go for the Academy of Arts.
There is a new benefit that allows students from Venezuela to obtain a work visa after a year of studying without American benefits in the United States. This can change Samantha's life whole plan, as well as many other Venezuelans looking to come to the United States.
Obviously I think it's great. I think it's a great benefit to have, for me as a Venezuelan, that we obviously know what our economic struggle is. It will have a lot of Venezuelans coming here, more than there are already.
As this changes the life of Samantha and many other Venezuelans, it still does not help the hurt they feel seeing their country blown apart by civil war.
It's like a karma that will be overcome. It's not something that just happened. I think like every event, it has social causes and it has consequences.
In San Francisco, California, I'm Zachary Pereda with the Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
As the violence continues to break out, not only in Venezuela but the world, we can only hope for peace.
A 21-year-old man was shot and killed in San Francisco's Western Addition neighborhood on Friday night. According to San Francisco police officer Gordon Shai, police responded to several reports of a shooting by Willow and Buchanan Streets. Another man who was shot that night walked into San Francisco General Hospital. The victim's name was Anderson, and he died later that night due to his injuries in the hospital. Police have not found the suspect yet, but they do believe that both victims were shot at Willow and Buchanan Streets.
There has been a significant decrease in the number of homicides in the past year for the city of San Francisco. However, there was a recent spike of violent crimes in Oakland and the Bay Area, according to FBI statistics. Over the past year, San Francisco saw a 22% increase in violent crimes, and along with a 24% increase in property crimes. Some are saying that this increase is a result of a policy instituted by Governor Jerry Brown, where California's lower-level state inmates were released on parole because of prison overcrowding.
Findings from a study done at UCSF showing that California may no longer be the leader in the anti-tobacco policy. California has always prided itself for having one of the nation's lowest smoking rates. However, smoking rates in other states are starting to decline. The big emphasis is at a local level, such as cities and counties in California, where e-cigarettes have been banned in public places and laws have been put in place regulating smoking in apartment complexes. California fell short in the lowest smoking rate behind Utah, which is number 1. A famous San Francisco attraction recently reopened after having been closed for renovations. Summer Moore brings us the story.
After 6 months of being closed for repairs due to a leaking roof that caused water damage to its famous murals, Coit Tower is back open for business. The city spent nearly $1.7 million in the mural refurbishment and roof repairs. We caught up with Davey Crockett, the tour director at Coit Tower, who explained to us the details of the renovation.
The Proposition B funding and some other funding, the city spent close to $2 million in refurbishing the tower, both the infrastructure, getting rid of lead-based paint, asbestos, made the place not leak like a sieve anymore. And then separately, the Art Commission and a great team of restorers came in and cleaned 25 years worth of grunge from the art, did a lot of what they call in-painting to try to repair damage to the murals.
I'm standing outside the entrance to Coit Tower, where inside visitors await to see the recently refurbished paintings and the breathtaking views from the top.
With a line that wrapped all the way around the tower, we spoke with Evelyn from Germany, who had visited Coit Tower 3 times.
It was awesome. The view over there is just amazing. Like, you can see the whole Bay Area, the Golden Gate Bridge. Like, the view is perfect.
Though the tower itself is fixed, Crockett tells us that the murals will have to be refurbished again in the future.
And it's something that's just going to be an ongoing process. Our website, unfortunately, is still pretty rudimentary at this point, but it's coittowertours.com. Our winter hours are from 10 in the morning till we stop selling elevator tickets at 5. We close the doors at 5:30.
In San Francisco, I'm Summer Moore with Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
Coit Tower is open 7 days a week, but will be closed for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day.
Google has signed a lease for over 60 years to rent out property on a historic naval base. The internet giant has agreed to pay over $1 billion for the rental property, which includes a golf course, a working airstrip, and other buildings. Google intends to renovate buildings on the base where they plan to use them for projects such as space exploration, aviation, and robotics. The rental space is said to be over 1,000 acres and is part of the Moffett Field Naval Air Station located on the San Francisco Peninsula.
Peter Siebel, the pilot of the Virgin Galactic aircraft that crashed earlier this month, is said to be in relatively good shape. In fact, some are saying that his survival is more than just a miracle. However, now some of the future passengers who plan to take the space shuttle are asking for their money back. Of the 700 people who bought tickets for the shuttle, over 24 are wanting a refund, but some of the passengers are still in full support of the Virgin Galactic space shuttle. As critics rave about the blockbuster movie Interstellar, scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson explained the science behind the movies on CBS's morning show. Although he states that it was not as good as the movie Contact, the science and research that went into the Interstellar is impressive. Tyson even sent out a series of tweets on his Twitter account about his thoughts on the film, one of them stating to stay the hell away from black holes.
Now we have Silvio with entertainment on the latest movies.
Hi, I'm Silvio Moraz, and today we have your entertainment news for the week, including a couple of movies over the weekend that were box office hits. First, we start off with Interstellar, directed by Christopher Nolan, who also directed Batman Trilogy. Here's a preview to the movie.
Your daughter's generation will be the last to survive on Earth. Find us a new home. 5.
You have no idea when you're coming back.
4.
I'm coming back.
The Christopher Nolan.
12 potentially habitable worlds within our reach.
3. Want to get down fast, don't we?
Actually, we want to get there in one piece.
2.
I'm ready to make it!
Yes, you are. 1. Here we go.
Interstellar. Interstellar was a box office success this past weekend, making over $49 million. So don't miss out on this good movie with big names like Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. With other heart and humor audiences expect from Walt Disney, Animation Studios' Big Hero 6 is an action-packed comedy, adventures about a robotic prodigy, Hiro Hamada. Here's a sneak peek.
This year,
welcome to the Nerd Lab.
These bright young minds will have to save the world, but not on their own.
Hello, I am Baymax.
Looks like a walking marshmallow.
Have a lollipop.
Nice.
Nothing is better than free food! From the creators of Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph,
Baymax! We gotta catch that guy.
Baymax arrives to lend a hand.
I love that robot! Oh no.
Disney's Big Hero 6, coming to cinemas in 3D.
Big Hero 6 is rated PG and is a great choice for all ages. Sons of Anarchy star Charlie Hunnam is on the cover of the newest issue of Men's Health. In this issue, Hunnam shares his tips on how to maintain his killer arms and also shares much more about his outlaws ethos and well as why he turned down the lead role in the upcoming adaptation of 50 Shades of Grey in the December issue on Men's Health. Now I know where to get my workout routine from. Well guys, that's all the time we have for entertainment news. Now back to you.
Thank you, Silvio. In other news, San Francisco's 49ers defensive lineman Ray McDonald was arrested this past August, but according to the Santa Clara District Attorney Office, citing that the charges have been dropped due to insufficient evidence. The 49ers released a statement saying that the issue of domestic violence is important to us, as it is throughout society. And according to the team, there will be no punishment filed against McDonald.
San Francisco schools are paying an estimate $140,000 in state funding because over 3,000 students missed class due to the San Francisco Giants victory parade. It is not as bad as 2012 parade when about 4,100 kids skipped class and cost the schools that year approximately over $160,000. Team sports are very popular in the United States, and we are known for creating amazing athletes. But a less popular sport has grown a lot over the past few years. Silvio Moraz has more with the story.
Soccer is a sport that is highly regarded in the world, but in the U.S. not so much. But over the years, the popularity of soccer has grown. Many believe it's because the amount of foreigners that live in the U.S., such as Europeans and Latin Americans, whose choice of sport is soccer. During the 2006 World Cup, popularity for soccer grew. About 26 million Americans play the sport. That makes up to 30% of families at least have one family member playing soccer. I interviewed a local San Francisco referee, and he explains firsthand on how soccer has grown in the U.S.
I've been ref for about 10 years. I've been ref for 10 years. I've been ref college game, private high school game, San Francisco League, and other leagues around the Bay Area. Well, the way I see right now, when I came here, the soccer was not that popular. But now that I see that I'm in ref, I see a lot of Latin American and European. I see they following soccer a lot.
With over 13 million Americans playing soccer in the United States, soccer is the third most played team sport in the U.S., only behind basketball and baseball.
I talked to a local coach and director of a competitive soccer club on his analysis on why soccer is growing among the youth and why soccer seems to have a brightful future down the road in the United States.
Well, you can appear to be more successful at playing soccer earlier. You don't need a lot of equipment, just need a soccer ball and you need a little bit of space. And you don't have to develop skills very quickly for you to still feel like you're participating. And so, you can develop some level of soccer skill pretty early and feel fairly successful at doing it without it being overly complicated. The youth development part is what I think is amazing about U.S. soccer. Yeah, development of MLS and professional soccer, but the fact that here in San Francisco, over the last 7-8 years, we've gone from having about 3,000 kids playing soccer. We now have between 8,000 and 10,000 kids register with our San Francisco Youth Soccer League. Most of the kids who are playing soccer in San Francisco from ages 5 to 14, 15 are playing in recreational soccer. And then there's a percentage of playing in competitive soccer, and that's also growing. So we're developing better coaching methods. We have more clubs involved, more adults involved in developing good soccer players.
In San Francisco, I'm Silver Miraz reporting for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
Thank you, Silvio. Soccer is a growing sport among kids and will develop to be a mainstream sport like other American sports. USF basketball players are teaming up with special needs kids in a new program called eHoops. The program was created to create an exclusive environment in which kids are being trained and mentored by these great athletes. The program is expected to return to USF in spring, after basketball season, which begins next weekend.
That's it for Academy of Arts University's K-Art News.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.